Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the JIPCC Juliana Imam Internship um, Program. I would want to welcome everybody. So before we kick things off, I would like to ask if we have any ideas, if you have any like interesting quotes, any motivational quotes that have been getting us through this period. Maybe it could be like a Bible verse, it could be like I don't know, a meme or something that has been getting us through. There's like a lot of quote unquote not to like diminish it, but like there's a lot of hardship going on now, and I just want to like know like what has been getting you through, like what words have you had in mind to get you through this period. So is there anyone that's willing to share? Hello?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. You're audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. Okay, thanks.
Sorry, sir. Would you be willing to participate in our icebreaker? So I wanted to know if there was any like interesting quote or any motivational thing that helped you get through like life's hardship or like any how do I put it, any disaster situation that could possibly like take its toll on you, but because of that quote you're able to like scale through. Do you mind sharing, please? Hello?
Hello.
Sorry, was I audible enough?
Yeah, actually, I am not able to listen properly. Like there is some disturbance.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, now I think it is better.
Okay. I wanted to like kick off with an icebreaker, and
Okay.
life happens to people, and I just wanted to know if there's been any interesting quotes, any motivational quotes that you've had at the back of your mind when you encounter like life's hardships or when you hit an obstacle, and what gets you going. Like, is there like a Bible verse maybe, or something someone said that just like helped you to get through? Do you mind sharing? Anybody at all? But if you want to go first, I'll appreciate it.
Really, I don't know what to share. Maybe if somebody else has some experience, maybe they can start. Yeah.
All right. Could you have Precious,
Hi there,
please?
if I may. Hi there, this
yes.
is Magdalena Koenig. Hi.
All right, no problem. You could go ahead, please.
Thanks so much. I don't know how applicable it is specifically to a work environment, but I don't know if you've heard of the sports enthusiast marathon runner David Goggins. So he has a very short, but I think a very effective slogan. And he usually likes to yell it by saying, "Stay hard." So the whole, the concept is life is hard, things happen, and you just have to keep going. I really like that. It's short, it's sweet, and I personally, I also find it quite amusing. It lifts me up. So I don't know if that's quite a traditional motivational phrase, but stay hard.
It is. Yeah, I really can understand. Sometimes like taking that like surface level, when you said stay hard, I was like, are you trying to like aggravate issues because this is like somebody that's going through hardships and wants to come out of it or something like that. And you saying stay hard seems more like, it doesn't seem as motivational, but like with your explanation, I was able to like understand where you're coming from. So thank you, Miss. So please, could we have another person, maybe, or two other people that are willing to share, please?
Okay, resonating with what she said, I think I also have a quote from a player last year. He was moved from, if any of us that watch football, maybe will know him. He was moved from Chelsea to Real Madrid. So what was that his name? Antonio Rudiger was his name. He's the defender. So during he took them to the last Champions League that the Real Madrid went to. So during the Champions League match, I think there was a match where he was injured in his top of his eye like this, and when he was leaving the field, I think he made a quote which is "Go hard or go home." That's the pitch is not for the weak. The pitch is not for the weak. So so if you have to be in the pitch, you have to go hard. You have to put in the work. You have to put in your all, and you have to be a very professional player. So if you will not go hard, it's better you go home and sleep. The field is for those that are hard. So that's one of the quotes I also picked from that.
Yes,
I
which
hope
is
that
really
helps.
interesting too. Stay hard or go home. Almost the same thing. The world is really for those people that are really that are willing to be determined, be willing to like press on regardless of like hardships, which really makes sense. And if you're not if you're not willing to like put yourself into like tough situations that are likely to shape you or to transform you, then it's possible that growth might not come out of it. So I really get. So for those that just joined, so we're having an icebreaker session. It might last for like 3 minutes more, but I just wanted to know, if you're in Nigeria, there's a lot going on. There's elections coming. There's the money issues, money circulation issues. There's PVC issues is like in the past now, so people are not collecting PVCs anymore. There's like the fuel scarcity issue. So I wanted to know, regardless of all these problems, what gets you through? What is the quote that you run to? What's the Bible verse maybe? What's the go-to text that you make reference to help you get through this tough times? So if you don't mind sharing, anybody at all, I won't mind. Or would you guys rather have me call? Sorry, could we have Musa? I'm so sorry. Could we have Musa? His hand was up before you spoke, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Regardless of the challenges, one of the positive things I like about Nigeria is no matter how difficult it is, when there is success, you see all the Nigerians are celebrating that particular success. So that is one good thing I like about Nigeria, regardless of the hardship. For example, if you look at all Nigerians who are not happy, Nigeria didn't participate in the World Cup. But when this girl, what is her name, got a medal in US because she's Nigerian, you see everyone is celebrating her. When you look at Ahmed Musa, you see everyone in the country is happy with Ahmed Musa. So regardless of the diversity, the challenges and everything, when there is happiness, we share together, and when there is a sadness, we share it together. That is one good thing I like about Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Could you please have the lady that spoke before Mr. Musa, please?
This is. Can you hear me?
Yes, love it.
Yes.
Love it, John.
Okay. For me, what keeps me going, even in school and school stress, Nigeria troubles, and the rest, I just have this conviction that things will get better. Since I'm not in the place I was before, I'm in a better place. It means even when situation changes, things get better. So I have this conviction that, okay, I might be in a hard place right now. It will not last forever. And having this Bible passage that says, "It will be with me at all times," also helps. And seeing that things actually change, seeing it in action gives me this conviction and surety that for sure things will change and it will not be the way it used to be. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your responses. From Mr. Musa to Ms. Lovers to the lady that spoke, the kind lady that spoke and told us to stay hard, to Mr. Hussein that, told us about go hard or go home. Now we'll be diving right into the program. Now, just as a quick recap, because I believe that we've been over this session for quite a while, the JIIPCC Mentorship and Internship Program is a quarterly program for students and young professionals across the African continent. Now, mentees are afforded the opportunity to access valuable advice, networking, training, mentorship, internship, discussion forums, industry updates, and resource materials from experienced mentors. I think that's the main focus of this call, which is being able to draw from the stock of knowledge that the mentors would be pouring out today. So you could join the live session via YouTube, and there's also Facebook as well. Now, the objectives of the program actually seeks to provide access to quality professional guidance for students and young professionals across the African continent, as mentioned earlier. The program seeks to facilitate dialogue and network among experienced and less experienced practitioners. So, we're on the call now. There will be a time when you have the chance to interact with your mentors, and that's where the dialogue and the networking comes in. So in all of this, it seeks to transform the mentees into mentors and leaders for the next generation. So through this program, you're able to step up and upgrade and become a better version of yourself as you go on. So going on, just as a quick recap or a quick reminder that this mentorship program cuts across intellectual property, artificial intelligence and technology, the energy industry, fintech, health tech and law, patent drafting, blockchain and NFTs. And there's also a 30-minute one-on-one mentorship session with your favorite mentor, and a link would be sent to you so that you could have a 30-minute session with your preferred mentor. So we'll be moving over to the mentors for the week. Remember, this is week 3. This is the first quarter of the JIIPCC mentorship program. So for our first mentor, we have For our first mentor, we have Mariam Esmail. I hope I didn't murder her name, but Miss Mariam is a artificial intelligence engineer with a huge passion for ML. She is experienced in working with international teams. She loves to solve problems and build algorithms. She's a good coder and a creative researcher. Little wonder why she's on this call today to share her knowledge. So for the next mentor, we have Mr. Akin Agunbiade. Mr. Akin is a PhD candidate as the Humanizing Machine Intelligence as the annual founder of the BELLS AI initiative. He's a manager of the ethics and gender issues at Afro Leadership, and he was recognized as one of the 100 brilliant men in AI ethics in 2022. The next mentor, we have Miss Magdalena Koenig. I hope I got your name correctly. Miss Magdalena is a key member of the artificial intelligence executive leadership team. As a general counsel at AIQ, she is responsible for the oversight of the legal, governance, and compliance department, including business structure and operations. Ms. Magdalena specializes in legal framework implementation, strategic IT and business cloud services, data management, licensing, and support agreement. She holds a postgraduate degree in law and was accepted as a member of the Law Society of England and Wales in September 2021. Upon completion of her training at Shoesmith LLP, where she was a member of the commercial technology and outsourcing team, specializing in ICT and outsourcing projects. Just as a kind reminder, this is the third week of the first quarter of the mentorship session, and we'll be handling the topic that we'll be focusing on is bias in AI and its human rights implications. Now on to the next mentor, we have Dr. Shantipriya Parida. I hope I got your name correctly. Please forgive me if I didn't. Dr. Parida is a senior AI scientist at Silo AI, Finland, the largest private AI lab in the Nordics. Before joining Silo, Dr. Prida worked as a postdoctoral researcher at IDEA Research Institute, Switzerland. He obtained his postdoctorate degree in machine translation from Charles University, Prague, Czech Republic. He has a PhD in computational neuroscience from JIIPCC University in India. He completed his Masters of Technology in Computer Science in JIIPCC as well. Before joining as a postdoc at Charles University, he worked as a system architect at Hawaii Technology, India. Dr. Prida is an AI expert with almost 15 years of experience in software development and architecture and has expertise in machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing. He has 4 years of research experience leading NLP tasks in the European Union as of 2020 and Innovation Suisse projects with publications in top-tier conferences and journals. He has about 60 publications and 440 citations. So on to the next mentor. I believe that should. So yeah, I believe that should be all for the mentors we have for today's call. I'll be inviting the mentors at this point to please give us a breakdown on the topic, bias in AI and its human rights implications. Hello.
Okay. Quickly, I think Dr. Shantipriya should go first among the mentors. Kindly call the mentors when you see them on the call. So.
All right. So, Mr. Shantipriya, could we have you address us on the topic, please?
Yeah. Thank you. Hope my voice is audible clearly. Let me try to share my screen.
Yes, your voice is clear.
Hello, let me share my screen again. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. It was, but then it went off.
Okay. Okay. Let me.
Okay, we can see your screen now. Dr. Prida.
Yeah,
Dr.
so
Prida.
can I send my PPT because I'm not able to.
It was visible at some point, and
Okay.
then it went off again.
Okay, so I'll try to share my screen probably. I have shared my screen, so can you please check? I have shared with this JI JIIPCC mentorship at gmail.com. So if you are able to access, can you share my screen?
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow, if I try to share my screen, my audio is stopping me. Maybe due to some security reason.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Technology happens to us.
Yeah, so if you can share from your side, I can talk, no problem. Meanwhile, I'll check.
All right. We'll do shortly.
Yeah, actually, it is a very short presentation about the briefly about the topic, like AI bias and what is its human implications. So maybe I can try to talk, and meanwhile, if you can share it, it is fine. Otherwise, also it's fine, no problem.
All right, you could like kick off with your presentation whilst Mr. Hussein handles the sharing of the screen.
Yeah, can you give me any mail ID? I'll try to, if you type the mail ID, I can share the presentation. In chat, if you just provide any of the mail ID, I can share it. No problem. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I just shared. Yeah, if somebody can present it, it will be fine. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so let me start. So actually, this is a very short presentation, briefly about the topic, about this artificial intelligence bias and its human implications. Because as we know, already many people have prepared the presentations about this particular topic, and actually these are some of the snapshot I have taken, like regarding the AI bias, because AI bias, it's a very broad terminology, and many things are there, and every day actually we are finding some news, more or less, like, okay, due to AI these things happened, or can AI do this, or can can this technologies is really a threat to human beings. So there are a lot of things are happening, and we are reading every day. So first thing is that we know that, okay, there is something, I mean, so some bias is happening, or there is bias are there in the systems. But next question is like, why this bias, or who introduced such kind of bias, or like can it be prevented, or can we minimize this bias? So that are the some questions, and those actually really a research topic, and people are really working hard on that. So if you go to the next slide, uh, so when we talk about bias, actually bias is a it's not about only artificial intelligence bias. Actually, first we try to understand like what is the bias. For example, we say that the general sense like bias, it's like we say that, okay, it is a tendency to learn in favor of or against a particular person, or a group, or idea, or thing, or means which is usually in a way that is unfair. That means, and this bias is actually, if we consider, it will be like everywhere. For example, as a human being, we are also biased towards something. For example, whenever we are taking some decisions, we are knowingly or means even unknowingly, we are having bias, and also without realizing it, we are biased towards something. And it doesn't matter that, okay, uh, like how much knowledgeable we are, or how technical we are sound, but sometimes while taking the decision also we are biased. It is maybe due to the our surroundings, and the type of knowledge we are perceiving, and some of the things which happening outside in our outside the world, and something near in our very close environment. So there are actually different factors, and if we consider all these factors, somehow more or less active as some kind of agent for this kind of bias. So that is the what we can call, that is the main criteria. Like if we are biased, and when we are trying to build some kind of systems, then I mean, somehow these bias are also we are injecting to these particular systems, or we call it is like when we say it's called like machine intelligence, it is nothing but we are trying to simulate the brain, or how our human intelligence into a systems. And as I said that, okay, as human are bias, okay, bias, and when we are trying to make such kind of systems, then definitely somehow we are making some algorithms or some systems which is kind of bias in nature. So maybe next slide. to so yeah, so this is like the typical questions where everyone is asking, like whether these AI systems are biased. So I think we all agree that, I think, more or less actually these systems are biased, because every day we are learning about this. But thing is that, like then how how to handle this. For example, shall we just allow this kind of systems to take decisions about us? For example, whether you are applying for a course, or you are or any kind of medical applications, or you are any education system. So where the systems are taking some kind of decision, so shall we allow, or how much safe we are, or what kind of impact it will have when this kind of system, bias systems taking the decision. So that will be the basic questions. And as we say that, okay, these AI systems are created by these humans, and humans are biased, then okay, these are coming to there. And next, like we also want to know like who introduced this bias. And this bias, okay, mostly this bias introduced to an algorithm, so they in very different ways. And it will be because, for example, we cannot say that, okay, this is the exact point where this bias has introduced. It is not like that. Actually, when we say that, okay, people who biased and assumptions can creep into these algorithms, that means when we try to design, people having own mindset, or they are biased, and they try to build systems. Okay, somehow it will be introduced. Not only it is in a definite forms, but it can have in a different starting from. For example, when you try to build a systems using, or maybe assume a building a machine learning classifier or any machine learning systems. So there are different phases are there. Like, okay, you have to input you want to prepare some data, and you have to write some algorithms, or you want to build on models, and also this models output you want to produce the output. So in every sense, if you look into every steps, so that you need to take it carefully. So as I mentioned that, okay, this decision about what data to use to train the models to find the patterns, or how this model or algorithm structure, or how the output is visualized. So that can be in different way. We are introducing the bias. So, and once any system already it is biased, now it will produce some output. And for example, now again you are trying to use those particular output for any other systems. So it will be like somehow actually we are making the things very noisy. So for example, assume from the starting point, if your data is biased, and you build a systems, and again some output you are generating, and that you are trying to use in some other systems, then again it will be just it's like you are go on multiplying the things, means it will not reducing, rather you are making it is a more biased data. But thing is like that, okay, how can it be possible, like okay, whatever is happened, but is it possible to reduce that? And even if it is a biased, then what are its impacts? I think there are several impacts are there, because recently, I think 2 days back, you have had some news about this Google, like when they are trying to they are also trying to compete with JIIPCC, and they have lost a lot of revenues for a single when the response is not correct, and somebody has pointed out the mistakes. So such things actually in business, they have a lot of impact. For example, like you can lost your revenue, or you can lost your customers, or you can lost your employees. So there will be like a lot of impact, and it not only impact the business, also it impacts the human life. For example, such bias systems, if it is introduced in medical, or if it will be in education, so it will be really you are like we are allowing some systems to play with uh, uh, like uh, play with the humans, so that will be even more dangerous. But thing is like can we restrict those? So maybe in next slide, okay, there are we cannot say that, okay, completely, okay, we cannot at one day we can stop everything and make a very clean system which is unbiased. But there are few steps are there which definitely we can consider, or we can consider to minimize the bias. maybe in next slides. Okay, we call it like remedies for AI bias. So can it be done? So for example, like, okay, it can be done, but it is not like a single steps, but there are a lot of steps are there. For example, when you try to starting from collecting the data, or you are building the model. So everybody, for example, when somebody is collecting the data, or somebody has building the models, or somebody is using it, or so there will be in every steps, and everyone has that responsibility, which play an important role to reduce such kind of bias. And even if very noisy data are there, or noisy systems are there, or bias systems are there, so can we make it correct? Can we correct it, or can we rectify somehow? Yes, we can do up to a great extent, like we can do it, or we can create a unbiased systems, but it's not a one day affair. It will be like, okay, and each step we need to take care it properly, and it's a continuous process. And also we have to self-organize, like self-organize and monitor the data static, and we have to like audit the data and review the process. And also there will be some ethics are involved, and some ethical board will be there, like who will continuously monitor this kind of in each steps, the input and output. And then, okay, maybe mm, we can reduce, or we can try to make better systems, or unbiased systems. So that will be, I think, from my slide, from my side. It's a very brief presentation, and hope the other experts, they can also add things. So yeah, some references I have added. And yeah, so if any questions or queries, I'm happy to answer.
All right. Thank you so much for your presentation. I really enjoyed it. I didn't really know that it was going to go this in depth. It was really amazing, and it helped me to learn more about where biases come from and how we could solve the problem with biases in our AI systems. So please, questions will be entertained later on during this call. So now we'll be moving over to the next speaker, next mentor for today. We'll be having Miss Meglina Koenig speak to us about the topic biases in AI systems and the human implications.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think Ms. Magdalena is not on the call, so we'll be taking our mentee's PowerPoint presentation. The group 1 and group 2 should go with their PowerPoint presentation, pending when she will be back on the call, and other mentors too.
All right. So please, group 1, please, your team lead or the person presenting for today should please assume responsibility and kick off, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, we can hear you.
Okay, please, I'll be presenting for group 1, and I'll be sharing my screen right away, please.
All right.
Can I take this off? So
yeah, sure.
My
No problem.
face. Okay, is my screen on, please?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So we're speaking on, our group is talking on bias in artificial intelligence and its implications. My name is Kamalu Kotzka, by the way. Thank you. So moving straight on, we've heard a whole lot about AI bias, as well as what artificial intelligence actually has to offer to the world. And we thank God for all the great things we're getting from AI. But then when it comes to artificial bias, one question I've been asking myself since is, who is actually biased? Is it the AI or we humans? For me, I feel like AI is not actually biased. We are the biased ones who are projecting our biased nature into into AI rather, because AI is basically a function or a limb of who we are. So what then is, look at bias. Bias are basically prejudice, actually how we feel about things, about people, about a group or something. So what is AI bias? AI bias basically is a tendency of AI to actually pull through or go through its human bias, human prejudice, humans' options, humans' choices, because we are the ones who make this AI into what it is. So AI is a reflection of who we are. So what is prejudice? Normally, why do you like something? Why do you hate something? What notion, what opinion, what's your judgment about something? How do you feel about something? And the truth is, the way we feel about something usually comes off in the way we relate with a thing and the way we express something. And that's the truth about AI, because our prejudice, our feelings, our opinions, our judgments on things or as a group or on individuals or group of individuals actually pays or pulls through on the way we feel.
God's love, Kamalu, I can't hear you. Can we all hear him?
Yes, I actually can, but then it would help if he's like a little bit more audible. I could hear him well.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes, it's a lot better now.
Okay. So I'll just do a quick recap of prejudice. Basically, prejudice are how people feel, people's opinions, judgments about things. And most often, since humans are the one projecting their intelligence into AI then carries the weight of how people's feelings, people's judgments, people's opinions on things. Why don't you like a particular color? Why don't you like a particular food? Why don't you like a particular climate? When people push this into the algorithm they are putting through, it carries through with the intelligence they are giving out. Okay, types of artificial intelligence. Basically, there are two major types of artificial intelligence. That's the algorithmic bias and the societal bias. And then we saw something else while we were doing our research, aggregation bias. We said basically these are aggregation bias these are small things that make the big difference. Probably in an ML data analyst or algorithm expert who was working on an AI, just probably he had no prejudice over something, but then there was a little tweak he chose to add to the AI that could cause a bias in the future. Then what are algorithmic bias? I hope I got that right. Yeah. These are bias that come from the AI itself, from the algorithm. When you put through an algorithm that is not correct, that has some errors in it. Over the years, these algorithms that were not actually probably someone copied an algorithm and chose to work with it, or the algorithm that was put through was not properly checked to be free of some. It comes to a point where the AI itself begins to exhibit those biases that come from the algorithm you put through, the errors in those algorithms. And then societal bias. Normally, if a black man does not like, let's say, some kind of soup, it's going to go through in the kind of AI he's putting through. The kind of AI we do in Africa most often will be peculiar to Africa. The kind of AI that will be done in Europe will be peculiar to the situation in Europe. And most often, it takes on the biased nature of these particular kind of places, because that's what data that's available to them at the points where they are going through with putting up that AI. On the sources, we've talked about societal bias, the one that stems from people and their way of life and how a society actually goes through. Prejudicial bias, the one who comes from the training data based on the stereotype of the people actually putting through this algorithm in the AI. Lack of diversity. If you work in a company or an organization that has mostly male employees, you know that there are AI is going to be biased towards the female folk because they have a predominant male nature or male algorithm or male idea, male opinions going to go through for that. So when you have a lack of diversity, it's a source of AI bias. Training data, some data you put in are not really correct. So what the models do not really represent all, or is kind of limited in its source and its usage. So when we have AI data like this, it's sure going to be a source of bias when people do not actually take cognizance or complete investigations and should I say research on a particular intelligence they want to put into an AI, and then the training data itself was not actually completed. So when it's put into the AI in question, over time you find that this bias comes through because that particular AI intelligence was not properly researched. Then low quality of data, I think it also fits into the same thing. But then when something is not well cooperated, the human systems are not well cooperated because it does not go through the entire span of people who can actually give an opinion on this. Okay, examples of AI bias.
Sorry, Kamalo. Sorry
Yes,
to
please.
butt in. Please, you have like 2 minutes left.
That's fine. That's fine. We're almost done.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So examples, we've heard about the Amazon, the issue with the sexism when it comes to employment. The algorithm also that had to do with Blacks being more criminally minded than the white people or the whites. These are kind of bias. Sometimes it might not really be the fault of the AI, but then those who were doing it at that point, the only data they had to them were data that actually was stereotypical to a particular sex or a particular race. What are the implications of AI bias? Lack of trust in the corporation. Of course, you have some legal issues that arise from this. If AI says I can't get a job because I'm Black, that's discriminatory. It affects innovations. People can no longer innovate so much because they feel as though their innovations would not really move to the distance. It leads to a kind of harmful reinforcement in society and so much inequality in our society. Can AI bias be minimized? Of course, it can be minimized if humans learn to put their prejudices aside and work with things with complete, well-researched data and try to break away and bring in more diversity. Can AI be completely unbiased? The truth is yes, but then humans might not really be unbiased, and human intelligence is actually what we put into the AI. In conclusion, AI is not a problem. Society is. You and I, if we can bring in good governance to control our own intelligence and what we put into AI, AI can be better. Good AI comes from good persons. Thank you very much, then.
Thank you so much, Kamalo, for your insightful presentation. Well, I just had like a comment. This is like a personal opinion. Now, initially, I thought like AIs function like a better version of computers, and because of that, I personally felt that they should be capable of like independent functionality. You know how computers, you do the garbage in, garbage out, but like, AI, they already like everything is already built in a way, and they can perform independently. Like it doesn't really depend on like their programming, but then in some way that sounded like a stupid like idea I had in my head. But
Okay.
I feel like your presentation really like helped me to like understand better that everything that
Yes,
the
AI
AI
is basically a
operates with,
function
like
of what is put into it and
the
how it
programmer
grows over
put
the
in there.
years.
Yeah. So thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
explaining. And I really appreciated the way you like ran through the slides without having to like read line by line. I really appreciate that. So we'll be having the second group now to present. Please remember that you have 7 minutes and kindly turn on your cameras. And it would be nice to have a smile on your face like Kamalu did. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Please, I would like to share the screen, and I'm not in a good background.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead. Yes, you're
Okay, yeah.
audible.
My name is Jennifer. We're talking about safeguarding human rights in the age of AI. So the content includes why does human rights even matter, the impact of human rights, and of course, safeguarding human rights in the age of AI. Firstly, we all know that the world has become a global village, and so many great technology are coming up, and there are so many technologies and great things, development occurring now. And then this tends to find a way to interfere with our daily life and also our human rights. Why do human rights even matter? It's very pertinent to know that human rights are those rights that is entitled to every human being. They're those inalienable rights that should not be taken away from anybody except in specific situation and according to due process. How do AI impact in our
Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. I think we lost you. Your audio isn't working. We can't hear you properly. Or is it from my end? I don't think so.
I can't hear her also. So I think
All right.
if Group 2 is having a
All right.
backup presenter,
Please,
you can
if
continue
there's
from your
like a
system.
backup representative, please take over from Jennifer, unless she can rectify her issue quick as possible.
And we can move on to the mentor's comment on the presentations while we are waiting for Group 2's presenter.
Okay, this is Lovett.
Okay.
Can I fill in for her?
Yes, please. Yes, please. You could go on.
Okay, so I'll just share my screen now.
All right. Thank you.
If I don't know if she needs to stop sharing her screen for me to do that.
I think she stopped. I think she stopped because it's not showing anymore. So you could go ahead and share your screen, please.
Okay, here it is. Can we see it now?
No.
Can we see it now?
It's loading.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a network issue.
Should I continue? I don't know.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay, she
Can I continue?
Okay. Do you want to continue? I can stop so you can continue.
I want to continue.
Okay.
I had a little network issue.
Okay.
We still can't hear her. Jennifer or her, I did the one presenting.
She is, but I don't know.
Sorry,
okay,
I'm trying to share her screen.
All right.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay,
Sorry,
great.
I had a network issue.
All right.
So I'm going to talk about our human rights. Can you hear me? Sorry. So I'm going to talk about our human rights, which AI affects. First one is the right to life. It's pertinent that every woman has the right to life, and it's codified in Section 33, Sub 1 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Constitution, 1999. Everyone has the right to life. And that right should not be deprived from them, except the person has committed a criminal offense, and not just that, and the person has been found guilty. Also, there are instances where this AI affects our right to life. Let me talk about the health care sector. These days, robots are being used for surgeries and all of those things. So what if something happens and the patient dies? Who are we going to hold responsible? So this has curbed our right to life. The next one I'm going to talk about is right to privacy and data protection. Everyone is entitled to their own private life, and then to preserve such data, their own personal data. And it's codified in section 37 of the 1999 Constitution. There are certain instances where the AI has affected this right to privacy and data protection. For instance, in public places, now when you go to the mall or you go to public offices, you find out that there are several CCTV cameras there. Movements and whatever. And also the use of monitoring programs. These are ways the AI has curbed our right to privacy and data protection. Moving on, right to movement. As a citizen of Nigeria, you have every right to move freely in any region you want to go to, so far as you don't have any harm of hurting anyone. So the use of surveillance, the use of close observation by CCTV cameras, because most times when you go to the mall and all, you just notice that most people do not want to be recorded, but it's the case is different. When you go to the mall or you go to public offices, you find that you're being recorded, and this can limit our movement because people will not want to move freely. And also,
Hi, Jennifer. Please, you're having like glitches with your network, so we're not hearing you clearly. The last part we got was how people are, they feel like they are being monitored when they are walking up and down because the AI is capturing their like you could kick off from there.
Okay.
Quickly, I think we should move to the mentor's comments. If a backup presenter cannot help Jennifer.
Jennifer,
Hello, Jennifer. Could you please, are you still in a position to continue, please? Or should someone take over? I think Lovett is like on standby and she's available to take over.
Just allow us continue. Lovett, please, you can continue. I'm having.
You can continue.
All right. So over to Lovett now.
Okay, I'll just try to share my screen because I removed it before. Okay, anyways, from where she continued, while I'm trying to, so we'll not waste our time. She stopped at when she was explaining how AI has violated our rights to movement. Now, AI, as we know, is a system that has already been made, a software that has already been made. Now, what of situations when, for example, an ambulance that is running on emergency and is violating the traffic rules and regulations? Now, AI is not, it is not programmed to understand that there might be emergency situations when people can flaunt these rules and regulations, and will just pick it up, and you are already seen as someone that has gone against rules and regulations. Now, this is a means or a method in which AI has affected our rights to movement and our right to life as a person. Okay, moving forward, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit scattered, sorry. Okay, how are we going to, what are the methods in which we can safeguard human rights, since we already know the ways AI is affecting us really greatly? Okay, one of the methods in which we can do this is, if we can, people making this software, if when they are making it, as the first speaker said in the first group, that if they can make sure making this software, they reduce their prejudice and their biases, it will go a long way in safeguarding our human rights and take away every form of discriminations and racial problems. So for example, a Black man who is making one of these AI softwares can, maybe when he's programming this software, find out that, okay, unknowingly makes it good for just the Black person, such that when this software sees a Black person, it sees the Black person as someone who can do no wrong. Now, when a white person is brought under this same microscope, we see that there is a discrimination, and it has affected that person's, or violated that person's rights to, has affected that person's rights. Sorry. So another method in which AI, can we see my screen now?
It's still not showing, but I think that for now we could like make do with the audio, like your speech.
Okay,
just to save time.
Okay. Okay, I'll just continue. Okay, another method where sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, another way in which we can make sure AI does not affect us anymore is if, okay, we can conduct regular assessments into the representatives of data. That is, those people making this software, if we can make sure while they are doing this data, while they are making this software, they do not go into producing this software with their biases or with their prejudices, as the first group have said, it will go a long way in helping AI. It will go a long way in safeguarding human rights against AI strangulation. Another way is AI literacy. If we can make sure, if we can educate and sensitize the public on what AI is doing, like if you are going into any supermarket, it is stated or clearly written that you are being recorded, it will go a long way to make the person understand that, okay, this is what I'm getting myself into. If I'm getting into the supermarket, I am being recorded. It will go a long way to make the person know what to do. I don't know if you understand. Another way, another method in which we can do this is the standards. All these human rights standards, the UDHR, the AU Charter, and the rest of it on our fundamental human rights. When AI software may let them be put into consideration by this software engineer, by these private companies. Let them be put into consideration, and let there be how will I put it now? Let there be censor or things that can get back at them if they do not adhere to these rules and regulations set by the human rights, the UDHR group and the rest of it. So a lot of standards have been put in place. So it is now, since a lot of standards have been put in place, it is now in the hands of government, private companies, law enforcement agencies to see that these rules and regulations that have been put in place are enforced, and see that they are put in real life practice. So I guess this is okay. Before we go, there is this very important case. We had this case in our first group presentation, the case of Loomis and Wilkerson. In that case, the man, he was an ex-convict, but the software, the AI software that was used to prosecute him, Compass, just saw that he was an ex-convict and said, since he has committed a crime before, he has a high tendency of creating a new one, without even listening to him. And the man sued. He appealed the decision of the court because the judge accepted AI's decision. So when he appealed on the ground of discrimination, lack of due process, and his right of presumption of innocence until proven guilty. And true, this is really, really right, because AI failed to protect his right to fair hearing and just prosecuted him on the ground that he was an ex-convict. So these are ways AI has affected our right as a human person. And the ways to safeguard them, to safeguard these rights are what I've already what I've stated earlier. The enforcement of these rights and AI literacy, and private companies to be aware such that when they are producing or when they are making these software packages, they put it in mind that these are things they should make sure they do not let affect their AI software. So our human rights will not be strangled. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Loveth. I love how you still took over and you are still able to present, and you are coherent in your thought process and how you communicated with us. I really learned a lot from your presentation as well, just as I did from the first group. So before we proceed to get the mentors' perspective on the different presentations we've had today, please I would like you guys to please turn on your cameras for the picture session. It's going to last for 1 minute, so this is just to sort of certify the fact that you attended this program. You're in week 3, and you've come a long way, week 1, week 2, and you could post it on maybe your LinkedIn or your social media account, who knows, WhatsApp, just to show people. You could take screenshots just to show people that, okay, I'm attending the JIIPCC mentorship, and this is what I'm learning. We're learning about AI and biases and the human implications that the existence of AI has. So please, that's just going to last for 1 minute. So in the next 1 minute, we'll be kicking off with the mentors' comment, please.
So you want my feedback for both the sessions?
If you'd like to take a screenshot, we're taking it as picture evidence that we're in attendance.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So in the next 1 minute, we'll be commencing. Okay. 1 minute is over. So Dr. Shantipria, please, would like to get your view on the presentations that we've had from the different groups, group 1 and group 2. We'd like to know what you thought about the presentations, how we could go about it better, what you like to expand upon, and all of that.
Yeah. First, I'd like to thanks for inviting me for this topic. And I have gone through both the presentation, from group 1 and group 2. And the first, the group 1 presentation, I think the presentation is quite good. It covers all the aspects of bias and artificial intelligence bias and implications, and so all the topics are covered. And the first group presentation was good, and the second group presentation, I have gone through the materials. The materials are good. Only thing is that during the presentation we had, due to some communication error, they could not present it well. But second group presentation contents are good. Only thing is that I'd like to suggest, in some places they may be they can be, the contents can be more organized in a very point wise, not little bit details, because during the presentation they can explain it more. But second topic is also very sensible about this human about this human rights. I think that will be very sensible matters, and that presentation, I think they try to cover many things, and that will be good. Only thing is that they didn't get more opportunity for presenting in a way due to some technical issue. Otherwise, both presentations actually, I like the contents, and the first group also, the contents were good, and also they presented well. So, and I'd like to congratulate both the groups. And for further improvement, I have maybe one suggestion from my side. For example, when we say, okay, this AI bias, for example, if we can make some, for example, if we can do some more research, and we can analyze it, how we can what we could do. For example, in a context, for example, assume it's a very broad terms. For example, if we take a small domain or a small case study, and if we can analyze like how we can restrict the AI bias, or what measures we can do with a sample case study, I think that will be more sense. For example, okay, we say that, okay, these are the checklist we can provide during the data collection, or it will ensure that, okay, when we are designing the algorithms, it will check that if it is really biased towards something or not, whether it is whether it will be a gender bias or any kind of algorithm bias is there. So if we can, for example, if we can prepare a case study, I think that one will be more valuable. And even for the second also, like for example, if we can define, or you can do further research and we can define some case study, I think that one will be more helpful, because both the topics are both the groups, they have covered theoretical well, they understood the things. Now it is time to, if we can do some kind of practical implications, like in terms of either some research paper or something, you can say that, okay, this is the bias and these are the case study of these. So that one will be more helpful to understand the topic as well as practicing. So that will be from my side.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Shantikria. I appreciate your feedback on the presentations. One thing I was able to get is like, it would be a lot better if we had like case scenarios or case studies that would help to buttress our points better and make it more practical than something that's more abstract. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we'll be moving over to the questions. Now we have a couple of questions from our mentees. And before I proceed with the questions, I'd like to apologize. There was another mentor that was supposed to also be on the call, but unfortunately she isn't available at the moment. I pray she'll be able to join before the session comes to an end. Now, the questions from the mentees, Dr. Shantikria, if you don't mind. So the first one goes this way: who should be charged with AI bias at an organizational and national level?
Yeah, actually, this question is actually really, it's not very easy to answer. But thing is like, when, for example, assume you are a product company. This is the way actually how it really works. For example, you are preparing a product for a medical device, and now your device is faulty. For example, your device is biased towards something. Then definitely, who is the owner? For example, he should be charged. For example, it will be in different senses. You can say, for example, you are collecting the data from somebody, or you are preparing the data, and if some issue is in your data, then you should be responsible, because your responsibility when we are collecting the data. So that data, actually you are responsible for auditing and making that, okay, my data is clean. And you can, so for a product, for example, assume any company has built a product, and that product has product means it is not like a one person has developed. It will be many people have involved, like some people have collected the data, some people have built the models, some people have tested, and some people have implemented the product or product in production. So but as a whole, okay, if there is anything with wrong in that particular product, so as a company, okay, he or say, or they, that entity or that owner of that company or a legal entity from that company, he should be responsible, because you have built the product. For example, we have found something responsible in the Google product or something, then okay, Google is responsible for that. Okay, any fine or anything is happened, it will be happened to that particular company. I think this one will be the same case for this one. So who will be the ownership, who has the ownership? So they have to, but it is not, sometimes it is not very direct. For example, like many entities are involved. That's why, although it looks like a very easy matter, but it's not very easy. exactly, because you say that, okay, I have collected the data from internet and I built this particular model, and now this model is not working or model is biased. Now whom I should blame? And if I ask that, okay, guy who has collected data, he may say that, okay, the data is, I have not created the data. That data is there in this particular site. I only curated the data, or I just extracted the data. And so in that sense, sometimes it will be very difficult to claim, penalize one particular person. But at the same time, but at the same time, for example, if it is a end product which is used by the customer, then okay, this company obviously they have to take the responsibility.
All right. So the next question is sort of like a follow-up from the first question that we had. The next question says, what possible punishment should be adopted as a way to how do I put it, demoralize the negative impacts of AI biases? Do you think that the punishment should take up a punitive measure, like it should be punitive in its approach, or it should be restorative? Should it be like, okay, you're going to sanction the company responsible, or are you going to, I don't know, maybe try to create a compensation system for the affected parties or something of that sort? What measures do you think, or what approach to punishment do you think would be best to remedy?
Yeah, so I think it will be based on the case or the domain. For example, if we are building a medical systems, then there should be the punishment should be very high. It should be like punishable. For example, you cannot play with a human life. For example, or based on your bias, okay, if somebody has died, then you should not take it lightly. It should be very offensive, and it should be a severe punishment. But thing is that, okay, due to for example, like in JIIPCC, if I type something, it gave me wrong answer. That doesn't mean that we should file a case. Means it should not be a very high punishment. So I think it will be case to case basis. We should decide. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your response. So the last question is, the focus is on Nigeria. So I would like to switch it up a bit, because you might not really have an understanding of how things work down here in Nigeria. So I would like to ask about the AI, like the legal system that accommodates AI technology in India, and how does it also incorporate or take into consideration human rights factors, so that the outputs from these AI systems are not strangulating or are not impeding on our human rights as people? And how do you think that this can be possibly I'm not sure how it works here in Nigeria. So, how do you think that method could be adopted by Nigerians?
Yeah, I think there should be one AI regulatory commission, or AI or ethics board, and they should actually monitor. For example, if you build any kind of systems or tools which will take the decision of, for example, job type of job application or court punishment, so which are like those systems, actually you should not directly follow, or directly in one day you should not implement those systems. I think in many countries, for example, like in India, there is no AI based systems available, for example, for this kind of systems, that will at least judiciary or medicals. So where it will be really affect people's fate or people's life. So those things, first thing is that it should not be implemented in one day. And second thing is that if you try to implement such systems, then first thing is that you should have a proper, you should first form a body like a committee or something, where all the AI expert and everything will be there. And okay, then you need lot of approvals, for example, and you should not implement in one day. Okay, maybe you can, for example, AI based systems will provide its judgment, but it has to be go through by some human expert, for example, in legal court or something. Even if AI based systems say that, okay, this will be my decision, but again, top of that, some humans will be there or judges will be there, so they can check the same thing for medical, even if on top of the final level decision will be by human, until you are convinced that the system is 100% accurate and it is unbiased. But till that, you should not completely provide all the authority to these AI-based systems. So that will be like my opinion, maybe.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your feedback and your time, because you're busy, and just reading your profile, I got to understand that you're very much involved in like a lot of things regarding AI and all of that. So thank you for making our time to join this call. Thank you for honoring our invitation to attend and give us insights into the artificial intelligence world, and talk about this topic and just like dissect it and help us to understand things better. For me, I've been able to understand, even from your presentation from like the get-go, I was able to understand like I was able to like get a better grasp on the topic, because at first when I saw the topic, I was like, what's going on? Could it be possible that there are biases in artificial intelligence? And I really appreciate your feedback and your time, as I said earlier. So thank you so much, Dr. Shanti.
Thank you, and thank you to all the participants for participating. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you to the mentees that took our time to make their presentations, for those that designed the slides, and for those that did the presentations that communicated the content of the slides to us. So thank you so much to everybody for your time and for your patience. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being present. Would be wrapping things up now. Just as a reminder, there's an opportunity to have a 30-minute one-on-one call with your favorite mentor. If Dr. Shanti Priya struck you as a favorite, then feel free to
yeah, sure.
Can we all hear him? Hello? Can we all hear Robert?
I can't.
Okay, yeah, I think maybe he's also having a network issues. So what I will just give the vote of thanks he was giving. I will just conclude on it. Thank you very much once more, Mr. Shanti Priya, for joining us today. We are so happy to see you, and we hope to see you on our future sessions. Thank you all the mentees that put in the work as a group, and came up with a power presentation. And sincerely, we also apologize for not having enough mentors today. I think we had up to 6 mentors that were supposed to be on the call today, but I think they were all engaged, and we had like 3, and some of them left the call at the early stage because of their other engagements. But hopefully by the next topic that will be taken by next week, we'll have more mentors to answer your questions and also address the topic. With that, I wish everybody a lovely and a happy weekend. Thank you very much once more, and bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Robert, for moderating. He's left already.